This video is going to be a breakdown of all the text messages, as well as showing any of the locations that any of the girls were at the time of the texting. This will cover from September the 8th, 2017, from the 6 o'clock hour until the 7 o'clock hour. I made these videos long ago, many years back, and I wanted to republish them for the new people that had just started following the case, as well as a refresher course for those of y'all that was with us when this all played out in real time. I hope you enjoy. Rest in peace, KENNEKA. Here we go. First one here is KENNEKA, and she is texting to Monifa. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. KENNEKA asked Monifa, does she want to go to the movies, to the show with the hood tonight? Now, I'm going to point out things that y'all are going to probably think at first it's going to be like, why am I pointing it out? But you'll understand when I get to the reason why. But like I said, right here it's 6 o'clock. Okay? Now, just within a few seconds, Monifa answers her back and she says, how are we getting there? Okay, only a few seconds later, okay? Then Monifa waits for 18 minutes. KENNEKA still had not responded. So Monifa says, well, come on and get me when you leave, or I'm going to call a cab to your house. Now, we don't know where KENNEKA was at that she was going to say when you leave from where, we don't know yet. You know, we haven't been told that. Okay? Now, mind you, this is, like I said, KENNEKA asked or invited Monifa to the movies at 6 o'clock and 41 seconds. So, what is that? 16 seconds it took for Monifa to answer her back. But then still after 18 minutes, KENNEKA doesn't even respond to her. And then she texts her a second time. Okay? Now, this is over 25 minutes later at 6:45:58. KENNEKA tells Monifa, why would you take a cab when you could just give me that money? And she's got the little side-looking face going on here. Okay? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if somebody calls and invites me to go out somewhere, and I respond and I answer them, and I ask them a question, and they don't respond back for that amount of time, that's going to make me kind of feel kind of some kind of way. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened with Monifa, because we're older, we're different, we think differently, but still, I thought that was just, for lack of better words, it was kind of rude. That would make me feel some kind of way also. I don't know. I'm offering you money. I mean, I'm saying I'm offering to pay to get to you, but you want the money instead. Okay, fine. All right. Now, within 4 seconds, and it's not because Monifa's desperate. I really doubt that. She says, all right, well, come then, because I haven't called for the cab yet. And right now it's 6:46. Okay? Two minutes later, KENNEKA answers her back and she says, well, what's the address? Because apparently like I said, they did not include the phone calls. So these girls and you're going to see this through these texts, these girls had to be talking on the phone to each other as well as texting each other. Then Monifa is going to text KENNEKA back. And at first it's only 2 minutes difference. At 6:50, she says at Gladys and Kilpatrick, 4707 West Gladys. And then she waits about 2.5 minutes later And she says, oh, did I skip that one? She says, and congrats, I'm happy for you. I think I skipped that one text that KENNEKA sent. Oh, there it is, yeah. She says that she goes, what's the address? And I got the job. There we go. All right. Then Monifa says she does the little laughing faces, but with the tongue sticking out or whatever. And like I said in the last video, these question marks, the emoji dictionary, whatever they call it, said that these were just, they were useless type of emojis, basically is what they were calling them. Now, Monifa said apparently she, KENNEKA had her doubts about this job, whether or not she would get the job or whether it took too long to be hired or something for Monifa to be saying this. All in all, though, this kind of tells me that Monifa and KENNEKA were not so distant with each other like the public has stated, or like was stated to the public, because they were saying, oh, they weren't close like they used to be. Her and Maya were so close and blah, blah, blah. I don't see Maya talking about any of this stuff. This to me is personal stuff. Now, I looked up the address. The 4707 is here. This is Teresa's address at the time of the party. Okay? Now, oh, and I have a map. It's an interactive map that has all the gang sets in Chicago marked, and that's what these colored blocks are for. So that's why I put that little notation there, so people aren't wondering what is that. This is where she lived at. Then she had moved here since then. In between, I don't remember how many months after KENNEKA died, she moved over here. But since then, she has actually moved back over here, like 1 or 2 houses away, or apartments away from where she was, just to give y'all an idea. And this is on Warren over here. Okay? Now, I looked up the information on this address because I remember back in 2017 thinking that was kind of funny that KENNEKA didn't know the address of where Monifa lived at. Well, come to find out, those of y'all that may remember, this past year, Monifa's grandmother passed away. This was the address that when it shows, when I Googled it, it doesn't show it anymore, but when I Googled it back then, it had her grandmother's name on there. And the only reason why I remembered it is when she passed away, I went and looked it up, and I found it, and her name was still listed there, but I never took a screenshot of it or anything. But apparently that's where her grandmother lived, so she was visiting her grandma. Okay. I don't know, maybe she didn't want the job, but she was taking it anyway. I don't know. We never got to, unfortunately, find things out like that. All right, now, KENNEKA texts Monifa back at 9:57, which was like 7 minutes later. She says, okay, I'm on Central now, so be ready to come out. And then just within a couple more seconds, she tells Monifa, and thank you, babe. She gives her the lovey, the ones with the hearts, eyes. But then she turns around, she adds these that are kind of like crying. It's like, just, it's kind of weird to me. Now, of course, my own adult children, they use emojis, and none of that makes sense to me either. But anyway, now here's your Central. She doesn't say what part is on there. But you'll notice here on my maps, I only took a screenshot of it, but these other houses, I have every address that has ever popped up in this case for one way or another. I've marked it on this map, and that's why it says Irene right here. That's one of the addresses that Irene has lived at one time, put it that way. I don't know if that's where she was living at the time of the party, because honestly, I've never actually really put a whole lot of interest into it. But if it was, maybe, KENNEKA stopped by there first. I don't know. But she went to go pick her up over there. Now, I want you to see, I know from here to here, it was a little over 3 miles in distance. So this is going to be halfway. And in the text, she said, I'm on Central, so be ready to hop out.